Hey, what's up? It's Harms. We are sitting with Ben and James, who are the Knocks. They are also, I just found out, some of the world's biggest fans of the New Radicals.
Yes. Oh, you saw my tweet.
I was like, are we?
We were DJing a wedding the other night, and we were playing the New Radicals, and I was like, kind of sauced up, and I was like, the New Radicals, Get What You Give is probably one of the best songs.
That song is
That
so
is.
good.
It's like, that song is incredible.
It is great. We still play that song to this
it's a
day.
classic.
Every time it comes on, I get excited. I've never seen it given that sort of vocal praise.
I know, I really
before.
would, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people forget about it until
I
they
said
hear
there's
it, and
never
they're
been
like, oh,
another
yeah,
song
like,
that's better, I think, or something.
I didn't tweet that.
Yeah. There was another Twitter thing that I saw with the wedding thing in mind, that is sort of like a goal of this band. You guys want to make songs that people play at weddings. What is it,
Totally.
in 10, 15,
Yeah,
20 years?
I think that's such an honor. I think for a while, like, people, at least being a DJ in New York, like, people are like, oh, that's such a wedding song, like, in a bad way sometimes. But to me, it's like, that's the ultimate compliment.
just
It's
means
like,
it's timeless.
if people, it means it's timeless. It means people want to celebrate some of the biggest times of your life to these songs. And we've been DJing forever, especially in New York. That's kind of a format. It's like the open format where you'll play a Strokes song and then into a Biggie song into this. That's kind of like the way you DJ at clubs in New York. And I think that's such an honor if your song becomes a wedding song. It's
Yeah,
like, that means,
absolutely.
it's
And
like-
all the artists that have wedding songs are all the biggest artists, so it's like, why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know you've
And then
done
there's always
something
those,
right.
those one, two that come through like New Radicals, where it's like they're not. You wouldn't say they're the biggest artists, but like they have that song. Or like Len, "Steal My Sunshine" is another one.
Sure.
For example, where it's like, where do these guys go? But like, even if we disappear in 10 years, we have a wedding song.
Were
fine
you
with that.
at the wedding or were you DJing the
DJing.
wedding?
Both.
Both.
It's our friend's
Yeah.
wedding. We were DJing.
I was gonna
yeah.
say, who has to do something that right to have you guys at this
It's
point in
our
your
homie.
career DJ the
I know.
wedding?
And now people, like, we get so many fans ask. It's like the new thing that all these people, like, we were DJing a thing in Chicago, and this person sent me a letter, or wrote this thing on a napkin and handed it to us while we were DJing, and it said, "We fell in love in front of you. Will you DJ our wedding?"
Wow.
And I was like,
But it
"Man,
was
that's
like,
real."
it was kind of, we didn't really know like the context. Like, you fell in love like here
Yeah, no,
tonight.
I think they had
So
to
it's
do it
like,
on
you
show
might wake up
before.
tomorrow and be like, oh, I don't know. If I like this guy anymore.
yeah. And then you guys are booked for that gig, and
But
then
that's
Never
this
mind.
whole
And
thing.
we've seen videos of people like walking down the aisle to a couple of our songs and stuff, which is that's like that to me. That's like such a cool thing.
We
Yeah.
DJ'd a wedding of a couple who fell in love to one of our songs. They said, and they like had to have us.
Yeah, they
DJ
kind of
their
gave a little
wedding.
TMI there. They're like, we used to lay in bed and,
Yeah,
like,
it was
and like
crazy.
naked and like listen to your music. I was like, oh, cool.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good. Let's talk about "Ride or Die," a song that has obviously been getting the band a lot of attention over the last couple of months. How'd you pair up with Mark Foster, or is all the Foster the People guys, or is it?
No,
is
it's
it
just Mark. And
Yeah.
it's actually it's a really like organic the way it happened. Me and a homie had worked on this song, and we had the beat forever, and we like, it's funny, this is the first beat we had for the album, and we were like, this is a special beat. We know we tried like 3 other songs to it. None of them were really right, and then we wrote this song to it. It was like an idea. It wasn't like a full completed thing, and it was like we did this thing where we pitched up my friend's voice, and he was singing. It kind of had that like, you know, Mark
Sounded
has
like
that.
Mark
It
Foster.
kind of sounded like Mark, and we're like, the only guy that could pull this off would be Mark Foster, and we didn't know him at all. But it turned out our friend's friend knew him.
Cool.
And it wasn't even like a thing where the label reached out. It was like we literally sent it to our friend, and he was like, "Oh, this sounds great." He sent it to Mark within 5 minutes. Was like, "Oh, Mark loves it. He wants to do it. Let's get." And then we flew out to LA and cut it, and it was like, it was too easy. It's one of those things like the songs that always end up becoming the best ones are the ones that happen really easily. I think
You're
Like,
absolutely
you
right.
know, and it felt that way for sure.
Some of the best wedding songs in the world were written in
Yeah,
half
right.
an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying, and we've been fans of Foster the People forever. Like, I mean, to me, Pumped Up Kicks was like a huge turning point in
Yeah, we
music
did a
when that
remix
song
of it,
came
so-
out. It was one of our first official remixes back then, and like I think that was a big point for indie music, where it was kind of that moment where between that and MGMT, where like pop was crossing over with the indie, and it was like this new electronic indie thing, and they were like, to me, like Pumped Up Kicks is like a standard almost in pop music, you know.
You're absolutely right. Those 2 bands that you just mentioned, maybe Passion Pit is in there
true.
as well.
That same era, and that's like when
Yeah.
we came up, like 2010, 2011,
Almost
around
like
that time.
Blockhouse in a way.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
when we started
Oh my
like
God.
really making music, and those were like huge influences of ours.
Cool,
for
cool,
sure,
cool.
yeah.
You mentioned the album. What can we know about the album at this point?
It's gonna be awesome.
It's a
Breaking
little
news. It's going to be awesome.
bit, It's a little bit more of a departure from our what we've done historically, as far as we've seen ourselves as producers mostly for the most of our career,
Yeah.
and not really artists. Like we'll be frontmen, but I've kind of, in our last few tours, I've been frontmanning as the singers of the songs we've written
Sure.
for other people, you know. But on this album, it's me singing and like writing my own lyrics.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's funny.
It's, like,
Yeah.
feel
How,
so.
how different is that for you? Is it
It's
cool?
actually, There was like a moment for me where it was like overwhelming because I wasn't like sure if I was like ready to like step out into. But then we did the Justin Bieber tour, and that was kind of like running with weights on as far as performing. And I got really comfortable with just like being in front of people and like being kind of much myself, but as other people, you know. So I'm singing like Sam Harris lyrics.
Yeah.
But it's like me. So like now I feel like we're gonna go out there with me singing like my songs, and it'll be like even better.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what's harder? Obviously, there's pressure both ways. There's a unique pressure creating your own art and putting it out there for people to do what they do with it. But then, obviously, you singing other people's, at least what other people's known as vocals. Is there one that's harder, more difficult for you?
I think it's harder to sing other people's vocals because you kind of have to like embody whatever character they were thinking when they sang it, you know. But like for me, like I understand my character, like the voices I'm trying to, or like whatever I'm trying to portray on whatever song we're writing. So when I hit the stage, I don't have to like be like, okay, like this is how I'm gonna be. It just kind of comes out naturally.
Cool.
And I think this record, you know, we've been around for a while now. Like I said, like we started back in that same time around like Passion, all that stuff, like in 2010, 11, whatever. We've just been around now, and we have stuff to say. You know, at first we just like knew we liked music, we wanted to be producers, and we liked making music. And we just like would make fun songs. But now it's like it's been almost 10 years or something, and we like just have stuff to write about, and we have stuff to talk about. And the album's called New York Narcotic, and it's kind of, you know, as you know, there's been an exodus from New York City, especially in music. When it comes to that, there's like no scene when it comes to writing music out there anymore. We're kind of one of these last frontiers there, and the kind of underlying theme of it is just about our love for New York and how it's been addicting in the sense narcotic, and you know, and also it's definitely a reference to partying, which has been a big thing of our life for the past 10 years.
A little bit darker.
It's a little dark. It's you know, it's like it's dark, and then it's also a celebration of both, so it's cool.
As I've learned about the band, one of the cooler things that I feel like I found out is that there was, I don't know if there still is, maybe there is, a thing that you guys did where after gigs, you guys always kind of went to people at the gigs and saw if you could do something afterwards.
Yeah, we
Whether
still
it was
try to do
a
that.
house party, a dorm thing. Do you guys still try to do that?
So, we can't really get away with it as much anymore.
Yeah.
But we used to really do, like, there were some times where we were like, like literally in a sorority house where the floor was caving in, the fire alarm went off. It was like, I don't know, it's just like I think we've always just had so much fun doing this and always kind of just been like still on some like pinch me, these people want us to come do this, and they are so nice to us, and like we never were the kind to shy away and be like, oh, I'm gonna go hide in the green room.
Also, shows end so early. It's like, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah,
we're also just New Yorkers. We like to be up till 5 in the morning.
He glossed over the story, but it's a cool one, that house party you referenced, because when the fire alarm went off, it went off because it was just so hot in there.
Do you know this
people were
story?
going so crazy.
Research.
I know a little bit. You guys have been around for a while.
It was the body heat. It was
Body
I've never
heat.
been in a room. It felt like you were in a sauna. And
The
we
party
there were people
ended
like
itself.
hanging from the ceiling. And we ended up passing out at that house, and we woke up, and there was literally the floor of the kitchen had
caved in.
bowled in, and there was like a pool.
There was a
of, like,
pool of
liquid
like
in the, it was.
unevaporated
we were just like,
sweat.
Thanks for having us, guys. See you.
Have fun with cleanup.
Yeah,
We'll see
probably
you
not gonna get your
later.
security deposit
No,
back.
the party ate itself. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
like
it's
those
fun.
are the sorts of things that.
And it's funny because I see those same girls still on Twitter to this day, and like tweet and comment on stuff, and it's like I'll never forget, and they'll never forget that. That's the kind of stuff that it's the same reason like for these weddings, and you meet these fans, and like I think you just making that extra effort makes such an impact in someone. You know, like I remember you know when I came up as like a hip hop DJ, and this guy Mixmaster Mike was the Beastie Boys DJ, and I was obsessed with him. And like when I was a kid, I was waited outside his show, and I had like the faceplate of my mixer, and I had him sign. It was like the nerdiest thing ever, and he was so cool, and I will like never forget that. You know? And I feel like there's moments like that when you're able to give that to someone else. It's a cool thing.
It's a big deal, and it does make a lasting impression.
Yeah, and it's like if you have these guys that you listen to their music and they came and had a party at your house, like
Also, your fans feel attached to you. I feel like we have fans that feel like they're attached to us in that way. So like they come up to us at shows and they're like, "I've been listening to you since," and then they'll like
they have this
name
like
some
ownership. Where it's
remix
like
that
I've known you since
that I
this.
forgot we did. I'm like, oh wow, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then like you go like then sometimes like end up at a bar with them or something, and like it's awesome.
It's good. It's a good feeling. How'd the video shoot go yesterday for Ride or
It was
Die?
incredible. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be like one of our. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's gonna be a
better
special
one.
one. Yeah.
Cool.
Best video shoot I've ever been. I usually hate being on the sets of video shoots.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
really
you
good
hear
for me.
that. Yeah.
I'm usually like, I don't want to be in the video. You take care
Because he
of
got to
it.
play
I don't wanna-
basketball. He got
Yeah,
to
we
show
played
off.
basketball. We were working out. I was like, this is great. Like,
Cool,
I just
all
love
right.
this. Like,
It's gonna be good though. It's definitely the highest budget video shoot we've done, which was really fun. And like I'm a geek on those things. Like I'm the guy behind the camera. Like, what does that do? Like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm a huge movie guy, and I feel like if I didn't work in music, I don't want to work in film. So I love being on sets and it was fun because the concept is that we were recreating all these classic movies. So we did Pulp Fiction and White Man Can't Jump.
Sure.
Men in Black, all these like black and white duos. Yeah. So it was fun. It was like I felt like we were really acting. It was cool.
We were acting.
Yeah.
Is that a riff of what you guys have been doing on Instagram?
Yeah,
kind of
like
doing the clips?
and that's how the concept kind of came. And
cool.
again, it goes back to that whole thing of how we really have this whole like affinity for the whole idea of like classics, and like things that just are timeless a little bit, and like whether it's film or movie music, it's like I don't know, there's something to be said about that.
I feel like we were kind of born in that like in between era where like I'll use this as an analogy. Like I was there for like Jordan, and I know enough about Jordan to like reference him, but like LeBron's my guy.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
is LeBron your guy for the series right now versus the Warriors?
I need him to be my guy. Like I don't think he's got enough help.
It's an uphill battle for that guy. Absolutely.
It's basically a 90-degree angle.
Totally. Well, here's the thing: is you shot the video yesterday. By the time people actually watch this video, the video very well may be out. So absolutely go check it out for sure. True or false? You still keep physical journals?
I do. Yeah.
I read that, and I wanted to ask about it because I just thought it was the coolest thing. That's not something people do very often. Why do you do that?
It's funny. It's actually I got to shout out my sister Carly. I have an older sister who's was a big influence in me getting into music and everything, and she gave me it for my birthday once, and she gives me shit 'cause I'm on my phone all the time. You know? Like, and we're with the family. I have 2 nieces with her, and and she gave me, and she's like, Ben, you got to stop writing all your things down, because she knows when we're writing. Lots of times when you're in the studio, you're writing songs, and people write on their phones, and it's like, in 10 years from now, you're not gonna go back and look at your iCloud. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it feels so good to write it down. And I'm such a kind of a hoarder when it comes to nostalgia. And I have one of those guys that has like a trunk of still stuff from high school. You know, and someday if I ever have children, it would be cool to you have the physical thing. Like, oh, this is when my dad was writing his second record, and you have the and it. I don't know. There's something about it, and I got really into it weirdly. Now I do this whole micro journaling thing where I write stuff every couple days, whether it's a couple sentences or whatever, and it's cool. It feels so much better than updating my Facebook or Twitter. You know what I mean?
I'm on board with that. Absolutely, I totally agree. Would you do me a favor? Will you say something nice about this interview? Today's journal
Dear Diary, iHeartRadio was so nice.
We had the best time for sure. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Obviously, there was success with the band's collaboration with Sophie Tucker earlier this year, and now Ride or Die is doing its thing.
Thanks, man.
Again, you guys have been at it for a long time.
Thank you for supporting me. Really
it's
our
no
first
problem.
time having our own song on the radio, so it's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, it was no brainer for us, man. We heard it once, and we were like, boom, that's easy.
Thank
for
you,
sure.
brother.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for sure. So it's Ben and James from the Knocks.